Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. The New York Knicks have a chance to get back above 500, ladies and gentlemen, as they play the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight or today at 2 o'clock, an early game, so you can have the rest of your night after the Knicks get this victory. They're ravaged with injuries, so they're going to be playing with a short lineup tonight. The guard spot, we don't know exactly how that's going to go, but hey, OKC is a little bit short in their guard spots as well. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. First thing I want to do is start off with Derrick Rose and find out what's actually going on with Derrick Rose. He's clearly not playing with the Knicks tonight. So let's get to our group. We got Nate, we got Josh, we got Steph in the building. We're going to talk New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and let's get it going. See if we can pull this win out today. I think this is an important win. One of the most important wins of the season, I think. After because of the schedule that we have coming up, we've got to take care of business against the teams that are below 500. If we plan to be try to make this run towards the playoffs, we got to take care of teams that are below 500. Josh, what's going on with you, man? How you feel? This one of the most important or the most important game of the season thus far?
Yes, every game is important. Knicks are in the middle of a playoff race, a really, really tight one in the Eastern Conference. First of all, salute NBK fam, salute Sam panel. How y'all doing out there? Happy Saturday. Absolutely, this is a very important game. The Knicks need this. They can't go into a slide because we already knew that the second half of the season was going to be tough as it is. Oklahoma City is definitely a winnable team, a beatable team. And the Knicks can't afford to have 2-3 game losing streaks because it's going to be really tough going down the stretch and when we, start talking about, come playoff time and everything. So this is definitely a must win for the Knicks.
Yeah. Steph? You agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be... Yeah, I agree. It's an important game. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think that a lot of our success comes off of continuity, our defense, our chemistry, and the more people we have out, the more it impacts that. And it just makes it harder for us to run and operate the way we used to. So I'm interested to see we're without Rose still, we're without Mitch still. Is there somebody else out?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, right now, I think
Peyton is out.
Yeah, I think let's look at I'll take a look at the really quick. This is from the Knicks PR last night. So Elfrid Payton is questionable with a strained right hamstring. Emmanuel Quickley with a sore groin is out. Sounds like he's been hanging with Frank Ntilikina. Austin Rivers, he's gone. He's not there due to personal reasons. He had a child. So congratulations to him. Of course, Mitchell Robinson is out with a right hand surgery, and Derrick Rose continues to be out with health and safety protocols.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're just not that good talent-wise. That we're just not that good. And the more people we lose, the harder it's going to be for us to win a game. We're just not built like that. Right. We're built where each piece together contributes. And so what what we get is kind of bigger than the sum of the parts, so to speak. And as those parts start chipping off, they're not effective, they're out. It just makes it harder for us to win games. I think the margin for winning is slim as it is. So I don't think this is going to be an easy game for us. If we were at full strength, yes, but we're not. So I think it's going to be nick and tuck throughout, and hopefully we can pull it out at the end.
Yeah. Now, luckily, we're playing OKC, who they have some injuries, and of course they, had a trade yesterday, so they're down in their guard position. All right, right now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's out. Says he will not play Saturday against the Knicks due to a quadriceps contusion. George Hill, he is out. George Hill will remain in the cast another week. This was on March 1st, so you know what? I'm not sure. That was on March 1st. He could be back. All right, so I will check that. Darius Bazley, he is day-to-day, but he will not play against the Knicks today. But I will check on George Hill to see if he's back or not. And then they traded away Amadou Diallo. I wish that the Knicks would have got into talks for Amadou Diallo. I really do. I like him. I think that he's still 22 years old. I think he's going to be a good player in this league for a long time. I really wish the Knicks would have, if they would have known about it, would have jumped in and tried to see if they can get Diallo, because I think he's going to be a good player. I really do. I think he's going to be a good player for a long time in this league. Yeah, he did us in last time. He was killing us last time. He's on his way to Detroit, and Detroit is sending, what's the guy's name?
Svi Mykhailiuk.
Say that again, Nate.
Svi Mykhailiuk. Sorry.
Svi Mykhailiuk.
Svi Mykhailiuk.
Yeah, Svi Mykhailiuk to OKC. This happened last night. I doubt that Svi is going to be playing today because they've still got to go through, health screenings and all of that kind of stuff. So they're down a few players as well. They're down a few players, and of course they're not as they're not a top team in the East or in the Western Conference. So we'll see how that works out with OKC. This isn't a game. I think the Knicks got to approach this game like. They can't even think about who's there, who's not there. They really got to approach this game like it's a playoff battle, because it is a playoff battle for the Knicks. Nate?
Yeah, man. Then the next important game is the next game. We always say that, So every game's important.
That's right. That's what I tell my players.
Finding out. Yeah, exactly. Finding out that Shai Gilgeous and Bazley are both out, I absolutely think the Knicks should have no problem winning this game. I mean, outside of Dort, I don't know who the hell's on their team that's really gonna light the world on fire. And even Dort's a bad shooter. So I think the Knicks have enough talent to win this game today.
They got Al Horford.
Oh, yeah.
Al Horford can shoot, man.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
He can play.
Al Horford can hoop, man.
He's not the Al Horford from the Hawks.
No, he's not. But
he can still shoot the
but
three.
I'm sure
he can still play.
I'm sure when it's needed, he can summons up, that 28-year-old, 26-year-old guy every once in a while. he can bring him up every once in a while.
Well. My point is that Shai Gilgeous is their best player. He's out. Bazley is a young player that they really like a lot. He's out. So, you talk about scoring. Outside of Horford and Dort, maybe, I don't know where their scoring is going to come from. So I think the Knicks, if they just lock down on defense and, just play their game, there's a good chance that, it won't be as close as we think it might be. I will say this, that I think the Knicks need to make a trade. We need to get some guard help, because we can't rely on any of these guards right now. They all get hurt. We need to bring in another guard or somebody who we can rely on that's more durable going forward, because I'm really worried about these guards. They have hammies, they have groin problems. Those are all lingering problems that can happen, can last you the rest of the season. So I think we need to maybe look at some more durable guards if we can make a trade. Something small, nothing big.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, you got to send out one of the guards that we have. You got to do that, or you're going to have a big crunch.
Rivers.
Rivers ain't playing, so Rivers don't even count.
No.
If you send Rivers out, it doesn't count. If you're bringing in a guy that's going to play, Rivers doesn't really count. So you got to send out a guy that's going to play. That's either going to be Elfrid Payton or Derrick Rose, and it's not going to be Derrick Rose. Right, so it would likely be Elfrid Payton if they brought in a guard that they thought could be a starter or, a better bench player. We'll see. They're combing the league, as Tom Thibodeau likes to say. So we'll see what they do. As far as Derrick Rose, there is and this has kind of been floated around, and I seen it on Legion of Knicks last night in the chat. that Derrick Rose had a death in the family. But this is posted from MVP Rose 1. And I guess it's a fan site for Derrick Rose. It says Derrick Rose will be attending a funeral this evening, so he will most likely be out minimum 1 more week. Apparently, it is the friend of, I don't know, one of his close friends' brothers or something like that. Yeah, the brother of a best friend or something like that. So who knows? And I know people are asking the question, well, why don't the Knicks just say personal reasons? I think because, it's kind of like since he was already out due to COVID protocol, then maybe they're just kind of extending the whole thing with the COVID protocol. Who knows? I don't know. And since he's going to the funeral, then there's going to be more protocol that he has to go through, right? Because he's going to be around. He's going to be around people. So he probably has to go through testing and protocol and all of that. So, there goes some news on Derrick Rose. So he may be out for another week beyond this, if that's truly the case. Steph, any thoughts on that?
I don't know if he's getting criticism for it. Some people, may think that, this is basketball season and he should be here and miss the funeral. But I haven't seen any of that. I'm just anticipating it.
Comes first.
But I would disagree. He's human, he has family, and if it's important, then you go. And it's probably because of COVID, like you're saying, Sim, something like that, now maybe you have to get tested more. Maybe, you have to stay out a certain amount of time because of that. If this wasn't COVID, he would probably go and come right back. So it is what it is. I think we just have to do the best we can in his absence.
Yeah. And I agree. I think, people maybe don't understand the type of place that he comes from, which is kind of a, although it's, he's in Chicago and it's a big city, when you have your neighborhood, it could be very close knit, so even if it's, the best friend of a brother or whoever it is, could be like a family member to you, and, that's a personal decision, and hopefully nobody has negative opinions about it. I'm sure people will, but he's a human being first, and I think that comes first and foremost, man. Josh, anything you want to add, or Nate?
I agree. For people to even think that this is Derrick Rose being selfish or anything like that, I just think that's ridiculous. And this is, exactly why I feel like some Knicks fans are extremely toxic. We may talk about the media being toxic, but Knicks fans are just as toxic. And, I don't know. It's just a terrible for anyone to even think that this is Derrick Rose being selfish. And the reason why it's so weak is because of the COVID test. Like Steph was saying, because of the funeral, you have to, you're going to be around people. So they want to, give you another week to make sure you don't have it and everything like that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I see in the chats, some people saying, he's hurting the team again. Or 1 week with pay. Well, they get guaranteed money. Yes, with pay. Their money's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and it is what it is. And the reason why it's 1 week, like Josh just said, and Steph was saying, you got the entire protocol that you got to go through. So he may be at a funeral today, but then they might require him to be out for a certain length of time so he can get tested, test 3 times, whatever it is, to make sure that, he doesn't have it. So,
I think people are just like, they're still sore when he was here last time and he kind of went AWOL on us. And, people tend to remember the past and kind of assume that, I think that's one of the reasons. COVID makes 100% sense. But I think if they would have said personal reasons, people would have been worried again, like, oh crap, what's going on? He's going to go AWOL on us again. And so I think the COVID makes more sense. Like, yeah, he's going to have to come back. He's going to have to get tested again and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I understand people. I mean, family comes first. He's a human being, like you said. He probably grew up with this guy. He probably was like a brother to him. So the fact is, hey, when you lose somebody, you stop everything and you mourn.
Exactly.
Also, can I add something to that? Also, what good is Derrick Rose if he comes back too? Or let's say COVID wasn't going on and Derrick Rose comes back too early after just dealing with a death in his family. He's not going to be that good on the floor anyway. So why would you want to have a guy out there that's not mentally ready to play basketball and he's going to be underperforming? Yeah. So are you going to blame him for, that's just ridiculous.
Right. And the whole thing about, the reason why they're, in my opinion, if this is the case, in my opinion, the reason why they're using the COVID protocols because, at first that's when the test was inconclusive. So he's under the COVID protocol. And if he goes and he visits anyone outside of, his bubble, then he's got to go through COVID protocol.
Right.
So the entire thing is still under COVID protocol, there's no reason that we've got to know. I mean, right now, if this is the truth, then we know, but there's no reason that the team has to put that out. That's personal. Exactly. And you don't have to say personal reasons. You can just leave it as COVID protocol, so. My thing is I just wish the best for him and his family. That's it. I just, I wish the best for him and his family. And,
as soon as he can.
He's able to come back healthy and, his family is able to recover from, whatever's taking place. Even if it's not a blood relative, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't mean it's not family. So.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's not family at all. Okay. Looking to this game, we know though, that we're not going to have Derrick Rose. And again, looking at the report once again, no Derrick Rose, no Elfrid Payton, no Emmanuel Quickley, no Austin Rivers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 point guards, 2 point guards that could be starting, one that comes off the bench and gives you a lot of firepower. Austin Rivers, who is an insurance policy, that are not there tonight. Frank Ntilikina, the job is in his hands. He's likely going to start at point guard.
Wow.
Right.
He's going to play 40-plus minutes a day.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. He's likely going to start at point guard. Then coming off the bench, will they use Jared Harper? Let me ask that. Because he's back from the bubble. He's with the team. The NBA did... they are allowing two-way players to play more games with the teams, an unlimited number of games with the teams now. If you recall in the past, it was like, 40-something games or whatever. I don't know what the exact number was. But now they're allowing the two-way players to play more games, an unlimited number of games with their team, at least for this season. So Jared Harper is available to the Knicks.
Let's do it.
Do you think maybe this is time for Jared Harper to play at least a little bit at that guard spot?
Yeah, because Burks can't play point. Who else are you going to have play point guard?
He's used him at point before.
He's used him
and then Randle brings the ball up. I don't think we like one of them teams that we actually need our point guard to initiate the offense.
Yeah. When I'm looking at the second unit, I guess tonight would be Alec Burks, Obi Toppin. Who else? Who?
Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox, yeah.
Gibson. Yep. Right. So Gibson should be, that's right. Gibson is healthy, so he should be at the center spot. Obi Toppin, Alec Burks. I'm assuming Kevin Knox. And maybe you see, if he wants to go deeper in the lineup, maybe you do see some Jared Harper or something like that. But I'm thinking he'll probably stagger the lineups, so that you use RJ Barrett more with the second unit, to have that five on the floor. You use Frank Ntilikina with the second unit. as well. So, yeah, there'll be extended minutes for some guys. I'm assuming that's the way he'll probably go. I don't know. I'd like to see Jared Harper if you could.
Guy can score, man. If you watched him in college, I mean, he can put the ball in the basket, man. I mean, he's a small guy, but he's very quick and he's got a good 3-point shot. I mean, I'd like to see what he has, because if he comes out and looks like crap, I mean, take him off a 2-way and, look at somebody else. I mean, it's my opinion.
Sam, I do expect to see RJ Barrett a lot more in that on ball role, and I do expect him to play a lot of minutes tonight. RJ Barrett's going to have to play a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Frank's going to play over 40. Mark my words. And score 5 points.
I mean, look, this is the game for Frank to really show that he belongs to be out there, right? I mean, there's not a lot of guards coming behind you, so you can take a few chances out there if you want, without being worried about being snatched. You still might get snatched, but you'll probably get back in there because there's not a lot of guards for him to go with, to go with. So, this is a chance for Frank to really go ahead and prove that, hey, I belong on the floor too, So I'm hoping that Frank can come through and have a big game. If he has a big game, then I think he'll make a statement. Now, from Mark Berman, this is from Mark Berman just 7 minutes ago. He said Payton and Quickley will go through warm-ups before determining if they're out. So we will. I guess we'll see from there.
He needs to rest a lot with that hammy. That hammy is going to be a lingering problem if he doesn't get a lot of rest. I think they're trying to bring him back too early. He needs to rest more.
You know what? I think that they have pretty good doctors with the Knicks, and if it's something that they feel is going to, exacerbate the problem, then they'll say, "Nah, you need to sit." I think. I don't know. I mean, he's even last year he was out. When he was out last year, it was due to a hammy problem, right? He was out at the beginning of last year.
Oh, it was a groin. Was it a groin?
No, I think it was a hamstring. No, Alfred Payton.
Oh yeah,
Frank was groin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frank was a groin.
Stretch,
I think
man.
Alfred Payton was a hamstring. So we'll see. But so possibly those two guys will be able to play. That'll be great if they are able to play. That'll be great because we need as many reinforcements as possible to make sure that we can pull this game out. We got to pull this game out. Looking at the two teams and the potential starting lineups, let's assume that Alfred Payton doesn't play. You got Frank Ntilikina, Reggie Bullock, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Nerlens Noel for the Knicks at point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. And then for the Thunder, you got Theo Maledon, you got Luguentz Dort, Kendrick Williams, possibly. Alexei, I can't say his last name.
Pokusevski.
Say it again.
Pokusevski.
I'll let you say it. There you go. Then you got Al Horford.
From AP.
Then you got AP. There you go. Then you got Al Horford at center. You know what? Besides Dort, I don't really know much about these guys. So it's hard for me to say who can do what.
Maledon's from France.
Yeah.
Right. And AP is a rookie.
Right. Yeah, that's right. He's that tall. He's the tall, that tall rookie that, as a matter of fact, when we played him last time, he hadn't scored in the NBA or he hadn't scored a field goal. And then he come out and he hit a bunch of them against us that game. I remember that.
Yep.
He's pretty skilled though.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Maledon can play. He's a big dude.
Big guard.
He's a point guard. Yeah. French on French crime.
But what is OKC doing? That's my question. And I know it's a Knicks show, but what is OKC doing? For me, I can't understand why they traded Diallo. Diallo had been playing well for them. And they traded him.
What we're doing.
they got, how many draft picks do they have? They traded him for another young
Man,
player. I will say that.
You can never have enough.
Another young player and a second-round pick in 2027 or something like that.
It's called hoarding. You're hoarding.
Yeah, Presti comes from the Spurs, Sim. He believes in developing in-house and he making the right trades. I think they have a big trade coming down the pipeline. He's just adding more assets left and right.
But wasn't Diallo in-house?
Yeah, but they got Dort, they got Baisley, they got Meladon. I mean, I don't know if they see that brighter future with Diallo that they see with those other dudes. I mean, they also got rid of Ferguson too, which I was surprised.
They got rid of who?
Ferguson.
Oh, right. I don't know. I don't know. He's 22 years old.
Hey, let's call Detroit to make a trade.
I think Detroit's looking at this guy and hoping that he's going to be part of their future.
Yeah, Detroit's trying to put some young pieces together. That's for sure.
I think that's the way that they see him. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's what they're doing, just trying to accumulate as many draft picks as possible. Yeah, we'll see. I think the kid is talented and has a good has a good future ahead of him. But maybe they see something in Svi that they like. As a matter of fact, when we played Detroit, he wasn't bad when we played Detroit.
Shooter. He's a shooter.
Yeah, he's a shooter. So maybe that's what they're looking for. And yes, Dort does. I think Dort did make Diallo kind of expendable. So Svi is a guard / forward. He's averaging 6.9 points a game, 2 rebounds, about 1 assist. He's been in the league since 2018, 2019. Let me see, how old is he? He's 23 years old, so he's still a young guy. I don't know. He shoots 33% from the three-point line. Nothing crazy. I don't know. I feel like they gave up maybe a guy that could be more talented for a guy that's less talented, honestly.
Didn't they also get a second-round pick?
They got a second-round pick.
Detroit?
Yeah, they got a second-round pick. That second-round pick is in 2027. So, I don't know. I don't know.
High school player.
I guess we will see what they expect to do in the future, but I don't know. We will see. Anyway, the Knicks really need to pull out a win today. When we look at the numbers behind the game, and based on a lot of the injuries that we have, these numbers probably don't mean not much. OKC averages 106 points per game. The Knicks are about 105 points per game, and that's nothing new to any of us. Now, as long as we play the defense that we expect and should play, we should be able to hold these guys hopefully below 100 points. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Right? We should be able to hold. I mean, their best scorer, main scorer, is out. Amadou Diallo, he's gone. Dort, though, I'll tell you, Dort, yeah, Baisley's not there. Dort, though, he's a player. He can get hot and play some basketball. So
hit or miss.
We got to watch him. He could have a good night. And then, of course, they got Al Horford. But they average 44 rebounds a game. We average 46. They average about 23 assists. We average 21. We both average around 7 steals a game. Both average around 4 to 5 blocks a game. Both average around 13 turnovers per game. They shoot 40. Well, we shoot about 45%. Both teams about 45% from the field. We shoot 37% from 3. They shoot 34% from 3. We make 77.5% of our free throws. They make 74%. In the paint, we should be able to have our way in the paint today. You would hope. We will see the way the game goes. Now, we average 46.5 points in the paint. They average 45.8. I think a lot of that is due to SGA's penetration in the lane, but we'll see. Second chance points, we average 13. They average 9. They only average about 9.7 fast break points. We average about 8. And if we talk about who leads them in scoring and all of that kind of stuff, it really doesn't matter because SGA is not there. So he leads them in scoring, assists, and in blocks at 0.65 blocks per game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talented player. Damn.
Right. I mean, they're gonna have no no rim protection. Nerlens Noel, that alley-oop to Nerlens Noel. Hopefully we can be successful with that. We weren't successful with that at all versus Milwaukee.
Hopefully we can catch it.
Right, at all. We tried to go through it a few times, and Lopez, who can't even jump, he's just long, was able to get his arms up there and knock it away. So that was highly unsuccessful. Hopefully tonight or today it'll be more successful because they don't really have an inside presence. And I'm looking for Julius Randle. We had a discussion in our last show about Julius Randle. I want to get you guys' opinion on this about is this the point where Julius Randle really has to show? All right, he made the All-Star team, and he proved that he's an All-Star. Does he really have to cement that All-Stardom during this stretch to say, yes, I'm really one of these top 20 guys? Right? Tony thought that the job was done. I think there's more work to do for him. I don't want to say he thought the job was done. He wasn't worried about Julius Randle. He thought he feels like Julius Randle was going to show up. So he's not worried about him. He's worried about the other pieces around Julius Randle. I feel like this is a time, though, where Julius Randle can really stake his claim as one of the top players in the league. I'll start with you, Josh.
Absolutely. We were having a conversation about Julius Randle being all pro, a couple weeks ago. So yeah, absolutely. He needs to step up big, and this team cannot afford. Like I've been coming down on RJ earlier in the season about RJ not being able to show up. Julius Randle, he got to show up. Point blank, simple as that. Because this team goes as far as Julius Randle takes them. So yeah, absolutely. He can't afford to have games like that where he scores 10 points or anything like that. He needs to be consistent, over 20-point scorer per game in order for this team to even have a chance at the playoffs. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah. What do you think, Steph?
I agree, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we'll win because we're shorthanded. So yes, I do think that he has to play, and he has to play well, and he has to be on point. But it's possible that he does that, and it's not enough. Mm-hmm. But he can't not show up, and he can't. I mean, listen, we'll be able to see. We're astute enough to see that he took the shots didn't fall. That it's possible that can happen. But for the most part, he needs to take his shots. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to rebound for us. He needs to get other people involved the way he's been doing. He needs to play good defense the way he's been doing. He needs to be Randle. Is that going to be enough today? I hope so. Is his shots going to fall today? I hope so. But other than that, yeah, we really need him for the rest of the season. Teams are going to be game planning for him, and they've been doing that already. And he has to continue to handle that and continue to play the way he's been playing. So for me, it's interesting to see how he performs down the stretch. I think that's going to give us a better sense of who we have. But I'm confident though in him.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think it's going to give us a better idea of who he is as a player, and can he step up and be that player. Tom Thibodeau called him an All-NBA player, or said he's playing like an All-NBA player. And Steph said, I forgot the word that you used, Steph.
I said, I hope it's not the kiss of death.
Yeah, the kiss. Yeah. Right. But yeah, this is that time where he can really step in, and the Knicks may not win. But if he's, coming out and doing this thing, and that doesn't necessarily mean scoring 28, it could be that day where everyone else is hitting, but he's the guy finding them, right? And he's, he finds them. He gets 8, 9, 10 assists with 13 points and has 15, 16 rebounds, right? That can still be him showing up. It doesn't always mean he's got to score 28 because, it might be a day where everybody is hot. Right. When it happens that way. But against Milwaukee, he was just a no-show really against Milwaukee. There was basically nothing he could do. I think he took 12 shots or something like that. But every pass, when he tried to pass out of those double and triple teams, those guys were playing the passing lanes really well. And you know what I think they realized about the Knicks too, some of their perimeter players, is they don't relocate well. Not just that. There's so much more to it than that, though. They don't relocate. Okay? So it's easy to play the passing lanes if you don't relocate. When I was watching the Bucks and the Knicks the other day, one thing that I noticed is all of their shooters consistently relocated. So if they're in one spot and Giannis is getting double teamed, if they're not open, they slide to the left, slide to the right. And so now the defender has to find them. Right? If you pay attention to us, we kind of stand there in that one spot.
We don't move without the ball.
Right? And so instead of relocating a couple feet to the left, a couple feet to the right, it's easy to play the passing lane because now Julius Randle's got to pass it right to that spot. And you see Drew Holiday pick it off. You see this guy pick it off. The Bucks did a really good job just relocating and making the defender have to find you. Because a lot of times the defender is caught looking at the person with the basketball. Right?
So
the defender, looking at the person with the basketball and has their head turned towards you, sometimes their back turned towards you. And so when you relocate and your teammate finds you, that person has to turn around and say, oh, they're not there, they're over there. Right? And by the time they by the time they locate you, you've already gotten a shot off. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that our perimeter shooters can do a little bit better. Is just relocate when they notice the defenders in the passing lane, move to another spot. It's something that I think earlier in the season we seen Julius Randle try to do with a couple of guys, and we turned the ball over. We didn't relocate well. He tried to, at one time, there was one game. It happened twice. He passed it to R.J. Barrett. It went out of bounds. R.J. Barrett didn't really relocate. He passed it to Kevin Knox in the same exact spot, and it went out of bounds. I think he was expecting him to relocate to that spot because the defender was right there, and they didn't. And obviously the passer is going to get the blame and should get the blame because you have the ball in your hands. You see where you're passing the ball to, and if it's not there, you don't make the pass. You know what I'm saying? You make another decision. So the blame goes to the passer. But also, guys, like Tom Thibodeau always says, players have to get to the spots and be at the right spots at the right time. And I think that's one thing we miss out on is relocating. So and that'll help your 3-point shooting. And because then you get some cleaner looks, some cleaner shots. So hopefully that's something that our guys are able to do tonight. Now I do want to look a little bit past today's game. I keep saying today's game, because after this game, we pull this one down with 20-19. We move back up to about that 5th seed, and then we play Brooklyn
on live TV
on ESPN. It's today's game is on NBA TV, right?
Yes.
Yeah, today's game is on NBA TV, I believe. Yes. So remember that, ladies and gentlemen, 2 p.m. on NBA TV is where you're going to find the Knicks today, if you're not in New York.
Sam, real quick, the tweet, they just put out that Alfred and Quickley are game time decisions, and more than likely one of them is going to play. So we'll have either Alfred or Quickley.
One of them guys, right?
They're going to do shoot around or something like that, and then they'll
hopefully Quickley, man.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, we need as much guard depth as possible. So, but I'll say this: Tom Thibodeau can't. He's got to go ahead and have a quick hook if one of those guys, either one of them is playing, and he notices that, they're laboring a little bit. Get them out because we can't afford injuries going forward, man. Can't afford anything.
Be playing today.
We can't afford anything lingering. So, but that Brooklyn game, man. It's on ESPN. Hopefully we have guys all the way healthy for that Brooklyn game. And I just want to come out and compete hard. Come out, compete, not just lay over and get blown out, right? Because this is going to be the game where everyone's watching and everyone's looking to see are the Knicks really for real. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a big one. And then Philadelphia looks like Joel Embiid's not going to be there against Philadelphia.
2 to 3
Hopefully
weeks,
he's okay.
out.
He's okay. So he's got like a bone bruise.
I didn't see what the injury was, but he's out.
Yeah, it's a bone bruise.
Hyperextension.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a bone bruise. So hopefully he's going to be okay. But we'll get to see him without having Joel Embiid there. So Josh, just your take on after we play today, we go out and get this win. Because I'm predicting we're going to get a win today. Go out and get this win. What do we look like versus Brooklyn and Philadelphia?
We got to step up. Simple and plain as that. We got to step up, and that'll determine how we're going to be looking moving forward. The Brooklyn and Philly, the cream of the crop in the Eastern Conference. You can compete with them. You up there. So hopefully we get all our guys back healthy. And we can go out and put our best foot forward and compete with those teams because we didn't compete with Brooklyn last time. And I don't know if Durant's going to be playing or Kyrie's not going to be playing or whatever whatever duo we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see all three of them at the same time. So that could at least help us. But Brooklyn's been balling. Brooklyn has been balling.
Kyrie's been balling.
Yeah, Kyrie and Harden has been going crazy. And if they have Kevin Durant, look out. But we'll see. We'll see how we defend the three against those two teams because they shoot the three extremely well. And we just got to come with our A game. Julius and RJ got to step up. Simple.
And we'll probably see Blake Griffin.
Yeah, forgot about Blake.
Yeah,
he might get a dunk on there.
We'll see Blake Griffin. Steph, what's your take on those two games after we take care of OKC today?
Sam, I would like to be at full strength. I think that would have given us a better sense of where this team is against these upper echelon teams, Philly and Brooklyn. Going in there without Mitch, possibly Rose. We'll do our best, but I don't know if it's a good indicator of where we are if we're going in there and we're not full strength. I think Brooklyn was 9-1 over their last 10, and I think similarly for Philadelphia. Philadelphia is 8-2. They'll be without Embiid, but even without Embiid, that's a tough team. Yep. I hear they're going to sign Cousins, or they're looking to sign Cousins. They're a tough team with or without Embiid, and we're not at full strength. So I'm not sure we're going to get any of those games. But hopefully we show well.
Yeah, and they still have, even without Joel Embiid, and if they sign DeMarcus Cousins, they still have Dwight Howard, who is stronger and can knock around any center that we have on the team.
Like Nerlens, push him away.
He can still push around any guy we have on the team. So it's not like they're going to be small down there. They're just missing the MVP, but they're still going to be big down there. Uncle Freezy, what's going on, man? How you been?
Yo, man, I'm good. I'm good, man.
Glad to see you in the building, bro. Glad to see you in the building.
Man, we've been busy, boss man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Busy. Getting it in, man. Getting it in.
I'm mad as fire with you. You didn't tell me having a YouTube channel would absorb your life. like having a channel, man, it man, listen. You never get a break, bro. You never get a break.
Try having two.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, hey, so I wanted to jump on, man, to first get back to where it all started, man. I love being here in the video chat with you and chopping it up about these Knicks that we love, man. And also I saw Josh, aka Uncle Fulio, with that wax sweater on. I don't even know why you would even wear something like that in public, Uncle Fulio. The rule of the day, and it's every day, is go Army, beat Navy.
Right? Go Navy, beat Army all day.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's nothing wrong with the little brother wanting some shine. It's like what Brooklyn is trying to do right now. right? The little brother wants some shine. There's nothing wrong with that. So, hey, so I want to also say hello to everybody else in on the panel. Nate, it's been a while. How you doing, man?
Muted.
Miss Stephanie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I disagree. I disagree with you some. You know,
That's okay.
I'm the optimist with the Knicks, right? I feel like we can beat everybody on the schedule on any given night, right? Anybody. I feel like we can beat anybody. And the reason,
even if we're not full strength.
I'm not gonna go that far. I think we can be competitive with everybody if we're not at full strength. But when we are at full strength, I like our chances against everybody.
I agree with you.
And the reason why I say that is because when you look back at the first half of the schedule, there were some really, really, really impressive wins, like the Milwaukee Bucks, who we just lost to, but we lost to because of a scheme error. Like the coaching staff said, legit, we're gonna pack the paint, keep Giannis from getting a full head of steam, and scramble out to the shooters. Well, their shooters beat us on that night. That was just the coaches picked out a game plan that they thought would work, and it backfired. Right. And there's nothing you can do about that, because when a guy named Bryn Forbes goes 7 for 7 from three, when a guy like named DJ Augustine goes 3 for 3 from three, two guys off their bench go 10 for 10 from three. I mean, when you pick your poison, you would prefer to pick Bryn Forbes. If I have to lose a game, I would rather have Bryn Forbes beaten as opposed
Forbes
to.
Can shoot, man. He plays for the Spurs. People are knocking him. He played well for the Spurs. I don't know why they let him go.
Right, but he's no Giannis.
No,
right?
Of course not.
Right, he's no Giannis. So in the pick your poison scenario, I don't blame Thibodeau and the coaching staff for going that route. But I said that to say this: if we come out with the right scheme with the roster that we have, what I'm saying, we have a whole bunch of light punchers. What I'm saying, we don't have a Giannis, we don't have a LeBron, we don't have a KD, we don't have a Harden, we have a Julius Randle and an RJ Barrett. But consistently, I like RJ Barrett's consistent growth since January. Since that 0 for 21 stretch, RJ Barrett shooting 47% from three, right? So it's one of those deals where you see improvement from a second year player. That's all you want to see. So I like our chances against Philadelphia, right? I don't think Philadelphia can legit generate enough offense, without Joel Embiid to beat us, because their offense basically is centered around teams focusing on Joel Embiid, so cats like Steph Curry can get open looks. And without Joel Embiid being there, Dwight Howard doesn't have enough gravity for us to leave Steph Curry, and the other complementary pieces like Tobias Harris in order for. So I think the Philly game is probably even. I would like our chances there.
Oh, you think it's even? Oh no, please. I mean,
shorthanded. We shorthanded.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't have.
They're out Simmons too. They're out Simmons and Embiid. Their best two players.
No, well, Embiid won't be there.
Simmons is out too.
Simmons is out.
Yeah. Yeah.
For what?
For COVID protocol. Remember, they missed
he's back from.
I thought he was playing the other night.
I'll check the box score.
I think he's out.
Yeah. Let's check that and let's check that and see. But I like our chances against them. I think it's more even than what we think. I think if we play up to our capability, if Elfrid Payton can drive to the basket, right? If Elfrid plays, if we have Elfrid and Rose, if we get them back to the Philly game, I don't know if we will or won't at this point because of whatever. But if we get the contributions that we expect to get, like 12 or 13 from Alec Burks, 12 or 13 from Emmanuel Quickley, 15, 16, 17 from RJ, and Julius Randle does his thing, I think we'll be competitive against that team. I'm not afraid of guys named Tobias Harris and Steph Curry. The Brooklyn game, however, I think we have to punch above our weight in order to. And if one of those players if one of those Hall of Famers gets hot, I think it's over. And if two of those Hall of Famers get hot, it's going to be embarrassing for us. But if they play normal games, I think I like our chances to be competitive, even though the likelihood of us winning may not be as high as it. But I like this. I like this roster though. I kind of like what we bring. I kind of like what we bring on a nightly basis. Like last year when we entered the gym, you didn't know what you were going to get from that roster. This year when we enter the gym, teams know that they're going to be in a dogfight. You know what I'm saying? From go, even if you outlast us, you know you're going to be in for a fight at least.
Okay. And let me jump in here real quick. And I just flashed it across the screen. An injury update for the New York Knicks. Elfrid Payton, strained right hamstring, is out. And Emmanuel Quickley, sore groin, is available for today's game at OKC.
Kind of figured because you said a sore groin is different from, a hammy.
Right.
That can be lingering though. That can be really.
It can be lingering.
Pain in the behind injury. That groin.
Right.
Stretch more.
I mean, actually, it's in the opposite direction. It's not pain in the behind, but that was just a joke. Maybe you didn't get
it. Yeah, you don't want that injury, that's for sure.
No.
But yeah, so there you go. We will have Emmanuel Quickley today. Much needed. We need to have Emmanuel Quickley.
Yeah. Now we got a backup point guard.
Need to have him out there. So I do think now, of course, it poses the question, who's going to start? I do think it's going to be Frank Ntilikina that starts, and then Emmanuel Quickley will continue to come off the bench as Tom Thibodeau did in the past. I think, and I think it really is, to me, just about that he likes having Emmanuel Quickley as a guard that can come off and provide instant offense. And you're not going to be able to get that with Frank Ntilikina.
Right.
And no responsibility, because his playmaking skills at this point is not great.
Right.
He's not a point guard. People need to get that out of their head. He's not a point guard.
Nate, you're wrong. You're wrong, Nate.
He's not a point guard, man.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Nate.
He's a two guard.
He can develop into it. He's just not that right now. I'm not saying he won't develop into it.
You can't just say because somebody's assist total is not high that they can't pass the ball. Emmanuel Quickley passes the ball and sometimes put cats in a position to make baskets, but when you don't have shot makers, your assist totals look low. And the other thing too is, as Tom Thibodeau said it himself, his quote is on Twitter. He was like, "Yo, there are different types of point guards in today's NBA. Everybody is not gonna be Chris Paul. He said it himself. You have power guards, you have downhill guards, you have scoring guards, you have facilitators. So to say that one guy doesn't fit one style of point guard play and is not a point guard at all is not fair to the point guard position, for one, that's evolving as we watch, and two, not fair to Quickley, who is the backup point guard off the bench. Right, that's who he is. You know what I'm saying?
But see, I don't know.
But can you say he's not there yet?
Yeah, he's not there yet.
Is it fair to say he's not there yet?
Yeah, I would say. I would.
And I don't know that Quickley's the backup point guard off the bench, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's Rose.
Normally, I think it's Derrick Rose is the backup point guard off the bench. Now Quickley may have the ball in his hands because he can get inside the lane and score, and that's what they want him to do. But I think that point guard mind is really Derrick Rose. I just think there's a lot of things that Quickley needs to do to become a starting point guard in the league, if he's ever going to become that. I just think, there's a lot of things he needs to do with getting in the lane and going all the way to the basket. And why do I say that? Because that draws a defense for him to be able to kick it out. I think that's important for any point guard, whether you're a scoring point guard or not. I think it's important that you can keep the ball in your hands, getting to the front of the rim so that you can draw that defense and kick it out. Emmanuel Quickley, too early, in my opinion. I think he too early goes for the shot, right? Sometimes at that foul line, before the defense gets a chance to actually commit so that he can draw him and he can kick it. Now, and then I think if a team really decides to put a lot of pressure on him at this point in his career, I think he needs more strength. to be able to fight off that pressure, because they put a lot of pressure on him, and he gets a little bit antsy with the basketball, I think. And we've seen him, and it's okay. He's a rookie. I'm not complaining about him. I'm not complaining about him at all. It's okay for him to be like that right now, because he's just getting in the league. So I think there's a lot of things that he needs to do to become that guy. But I will say, hold on 1 second there. I will say that he didn't say what those goals are, but they've developed some goals for him to work on for the second half of the season. And I think part of that is him learning how to be more of a point guard. I seen it in the Milwaukee Bucks game. He didn't just look to come off a screen and go to the basket. He was looking to try to find Julius Randle in the post. He was looking to try to find cutters coming off screens, right? So he was looking to play a little bit differently. So I think that's part of his development right now, what they're trying to work with him on.
Right. So what I was going to ask is this, right? So when Emmanuel Quickley does it, he is a 2-guard with ball handling responsibility. When Tyrese Halliburton does it, Tyrese Halliburton is a point guard, right? And so what I'm asking is how is it that when a guy, and I don't care nothing about the Sacramento Kings, right? I don't care. My thing is I understand who they are. I'm not them. I'm a fan of the Knicks. But what I'm saying
that clear,
For the other 29 teams, I don't care who you are. I don't like your team. I'm a fan of the Knicks. But what I'm saying is when Emmanuel Quickley say works on the perimeter and looks for his shot, then Emmanuel Quickley is a 2-guard. When Tyrese Halliburton does not drive the lane and has only been to the free throw line 12 times in his NBA career, which is 40 games, Tyrese Halliburton is a point guard, right? But Emmanuel Quickley does all the opposite stuff, like drive past, like uses the pick and roll, looks to penetrate. When it's not there, he'll stop short and use his floater to get his shot off over the top of a big man. And then we say that Quickley is not a point guard. Now, I understand it's about mentality, right? There's a mentality, right? But Damian Lillard has a scorer's mentality. Steph Curry has a scorer's mentality. Trae Young has a scorer's mentality. And then we complain about Quickley using screens all the time. But the person that uses the most screens in the NBA is Trae Young. Trae Young uses more screens than anybody in the NBA and doesn't necessarily take his man off the dribble. I understand the difference is Trae Young keeps his dribble alive longer, right? But in my opinion, Trae Young has more weapons in order to keep his dribble alive longer because there are more options to explore. But when Emmanuel Quickley keeps his dribble alive, you're talking about him, Taj Gibson, Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, and maybe an Obi Toppin. Right. So
but Trae Young's also a hell of a passer too. I think he's better than Lillard. He's better than a lot of the people you've mentioned. I mean, Trae Young has been a hell of a passer in college, and now he's that way in the NBA. So
right.
That was my point.
I think that where Emmanuel Quickley has a problem with right now, because you can be a scoring guard and still a guard that tries to get things set up. I don't think you have to be one or the other. And Emmanuel Quickley right now is just a straight-up scorer's mentality. I think that's a big difference between him and Halliburton, right?
And that's okay. That's not a problem. That's okay.
Yeah, Halliburton uses a lot of basketball knowledge to play the basketball game because he doesn't have tremendous speed. He doesn't have tremendous jumping ability. So he uses a lot of his basketball IQ to play the basketball game, and part of that involves setting up an opposing team. I mean, setting up your team, getting players in position, doing those type of things, and then taking the shots that are available to him. I think when you see IQ out there on the floor, at least in the first half of the season, it was basically, I got the ball and I'm looking to go to the basket. There was nothing else, not much involved with anyone else. Now, against Milwaukee, I seen him starting to try to do some other things out there on the floor. If you go back and watch that Milwaukee game, he was trying to learn how to command the offense, right? And, everyone has their learning curves. So, it could take a while for some people to stop doing this and that.
But is it?
I think naturally, we'll see if he develops that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about a Damian Lillard, right? Yeah, he is a point guard and he's a score first point guard. But he can control the team and command the team. I think that's something that Emmanuel Quickley is missing right now. Trae Young is that same kind of guy. Right? Hold up. Trae Young is that same kind of guy. I think he can control the team. Clearly, you can see it. He goes out and gets 9 assists. He sees the floor better than Emmanuel Quickley and a lot of other point guards. I don't want to just say Quickley. A lot of other point guards in the league, right? He sees the floor better. I have no problem with any point guard in the league using the screen. I mean, that's a basic play in the NBA. I have no problem with it. My thing with Emmanuel Quickley, when you talk about Trae Young and those guys keeping their dribble alive, I think it's different with Emmanuel Quickley. Trae Young will get inside the lane. There's nothing there. He go down along the baseline, come back around, find someone else, or get the ball out. With Emmanuel Quickley, I don't see it that way. I see it's not as intentional.
He's looking to score.
It's more I'm dribbling around because I don't know what to do right now. So I'm just dribbling, looking for an outlet, right? And that's okay because he's young and he's learning how to play the basketball game. So I think there's a lot to learn from him. Kev, go ahead.
No, what I was going to ask was, that is something that he can be learned from him. Right. Am I right?
Right.
I mean, you hope that. I mean, you're going to teach it.
I don't think he's point guard instincts.
Hold up, Nate. Right. You're going to teach it, and you hope that he picks it up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some things that, you can teach him some things, and then you got to ask, is he the type of point guard that can take what you're teaching it and blend it into what he already does so that he can play that, a more complete game? Or is it going to be like, he just doesn't have that kind of mentality. He's best at doing what he does. So,
So I guess what I'm getting at is, you look at Alfred Payton, he's set in his ways. He's been in the league, for a while. You look at Quickley, he's a rookie just coming in, and he's young. So I guess the question is, if it can be learned, or is he just set in his ways, and you're saying to yourself, now he's never going to change?
Nah, he can learn. He's young. Go ahead, Josh.
So this begs the question, because people say all the time, we need a true point guard. We need a true point guard. But people oftentimes look at Elfrid Payton's assist numbers and say, oh, Elfrid Payton's not a real point guard. But if we would have had someone like, say, a Damian Lillard who can score a lot, volume shooter, you know what I'm saying, volume scorer, if we had someone like that whose assist numbers are not necessarily high through the roof, would we be content with that as well? You know what I'm saying? Because the NBA is not just about having a point guard who's going to go out there and give you 10 assists every night. That's not
Josh,
what the NBA is.
Payton can control the team. I don't think Quickley can, like Sim was saying. Like, he might not have the assists, but
I agree with you.
He can run the team.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. That there's multiple different point guards out there, like Freezy said earlier. So if we want to say we need a true point guard for, to get assists and everything like that, a point guard who can score a lot, to me, that's a true point guard as well. To me, in the current NBA. Because most point guards nowadays are combo guards anyway. You got the Jamal Murrays, you got the, Damian Lillard, you got the Steph Currys. You know what I mean? So we really have to think about, when we think about true point guard, what is that? What do we really want? That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, Josh, let me say this real quick. I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna get out the way, I promise. Mm-hmm. Not only do I believe that Emmanuel Quickley is the starter at point guard for the New York Knicks, not only do I believe that he's going to be a star in this league at point guard for the New York Knicks, I believe he's going to be a superstar. Your backcourt of the future is going to be Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. And so what I'm asking you is to not look at what happened yesterday or Thursday. What I'm asking you to do is look forward, right, at what you have. Because what happens is we say Damian Lillard and Steph Curry, and we're looking at what they do today. But I remember Damian Lillard being a turnover machine when he first got to Portland as a rookie. Right. You know what I'm saying? I remember how he couldn't throw entry passes to the bigs in the post. He had to learn how to do those things because coming out of Weber State, he was a scoring machine. He had to learn how to facilitate in the NBA, and he gradually got better, right? He gradually got better every year, right?
Yeah.
I remember Steph Curry not being able to stay healthy because the grind of playing the point guard position was too taxing on his body, right? I remember all the ankle injuries from Steph Curry, trying to turn the corner, get hurt, ankle injury, doing all these passes, being a scoring machine coming out of a small school, just like Dame Lillard, right? What I'm saying is let's not look at Emmanuel Quickley playing with second unit guys who don't necessarily have a high basketball IQ and not knowing where to be on the floor when you get into your offensive sets. Let's look at Emmanuel Quickley as one who is learning how to play the position, right? And other guys on that second unit learning, Obi Toppin, Kevin Knox, those guys are learning how to get a higher basketball IQ and get experience also, like knowing where to be when Emmanuel Quickley turns this corner. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Knox, why are you on the box when you were a spot-up shooter? Obi, why are you at the three-point line and Kevin Knox is on the box? Shouldn't that be vice versa? Shouldn't Obi be in the dunker spot as opposed to Kevin Knox being there? And why is Obi at the three-point line? Why not with these guys? I'm telling you, it's going to come full circle when you see all of these guys develop and who they're going to be going forward, right? And so what that does is you're going to see Emmanuel Quickley improve once other guys with low basketball IQ and inexperience get better as well. The thing that those guys had, those other point guards that we mentioned have over Emmanuel Quickley, is they have experience. For one thing, they had experience. They had chemistry. Those guys' teams roster didn't turn over every year like the Knicks roster does. So we don't have chemistry where guys played together 2, 3, 4 seasons in a row. And so we can't say that Emmanuel Quickley has shortcomings in such and such place, because overall they don't have chemistry. They've only played together 39, almost 40 games. So what I'm saying is if you project towards the future, Emmanuel Quickley with more experience, more chemistry with guys, you'll see Emmanuel Quickley develop.
You just gave reason, which is totally on point. You gave reason that we shouldn't really be throwing these guys under the bus because of their, we're expecting them to be more than what they are. They have to build to be more than what they are.
Well, I don't think anybody's
that's
throwing.
What we're saying.
Yeah, nobody's throwing him under the bus.
I don't think anybody's throwing him under the bus.
Saying he's not ready right now.
Right. And I'm not saying that this panel right here, but how we read the chat, the chat comments and everything. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying people here on the panel at all. Not at all.
But see, I'm not ready to anoint him the starting point guard of the future. I'm just not ready to anoint him that. I think there's so much more that we have to see from him before we can say, yes, he is definitely the starting point guard of the future, because I haven't seen the natural ability that you see from a point guard that can get people involved without thinking about it. And I'm not comparing him to the point guard instincts. I'm not comparing him to LaMelo Ball. Okay, because he's not that, and he doesn't have to be. I don't expect him to be. I don't want him to be. I want him to be Emmanuel Quickley, right? But LaMelo Ball has this natural instinct without even thinking about it, right? It's his second nature to see that open guy, find where that guy is, and hit him, bang, right? I'm dribbling the basketball and I can just let it go real quick, boom, and hit him. Right. This and it's a natural thing that some people just have and some people don't. And I don't see it naturally with Emmanuel Quickley the way I've seen it with other guards, other point guards in the NBA, guys that you would say, this guy is going to be a superstar. Right. Now, obviously, there's point guards that don't, that are in the NBA and they don't have those type of instincts. So they've just become serviceable point guards in the NBA. Right, but then you have, when you talk about a superstar, they have these natural abilities they can score too, but they can find a way to get other people involved because either they draw so much attention or they have this ability to be able to see things that other people are not seeing on the floor. They can see it happening before it happens. And I think that's where I'm not sure Emmanuel Quickley has that. So I'm not ready to anoint him there. Go ahead, Nate, then I want to get to Savvy.
Yeah, so basically, all I want to say is that, you guys are talking about Lillard, you're talking about Curry, you're talking about Halliburton. Listen, all those guys played point guard in college. if Quickley had the ability to be a point guard, or the people thought that he could be a point guard, Tyrese Maxey wouldn't have been the point guard for the Kentucky. That's just my argument, is that all these guys we're talking about, they all played point guard in college. They all showed the point guard instincts to play in college, and then it transferred to the NBA. With Immanuel Quickley, I think Immanuel Quickley is a shooting guard. He is a scoring first guard, which is fine. We need scorers on this team. I just don't think he has the point guard instincts to be a point guard in the future, in my opinion.
He may not have played it in college, but he's played the point guard position before. So he even said that, when he was being interviewed, that he's played point guard. So yeah, I think he has the instinct. It's just that you're right.
But all those point guards played point guard in college, is what I'm trying to say.
Let me say this real quick, because I got to go right quick. I'm going to jump back on with Spree and Z and them just real quick. I just came by to say hello to Sim and everybody here. But Nate, what happened, that argument that you just made, it don't hold water, B. What you just said is they played point guard in college, right? One dude played point guard at a school named Weber State. You ain't never heard of that school before in your life. And the other dude played point guard at a school named Davidson. And I could drop you off in North Carolina and you couldn't find it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
This dude played in a backcourt at a blue blood in the toughest basketball conference in America, right? He played at the blue blood, the toughest conference in America, right? And you're saying that just because he didn't play point guard there, that he's not a natural point guard? You can make the same argument for a dude named Russell Westbrook that did not play point guard at a blue blood and is a Hall of Fame point guard in the NBA right now. That argument you said doesn't hold water.
I mean, but let me ask you this though, Freezy. Let me ask you this, because I mean, I agree and disagree, right? I agree that just because you didn't play point guard in college doesn't mean you can't play. If you have these skills somewhere, then you could possibly play it. But I don't know where you played point guard, how it really relates to your point guard skills. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're a great point guard at Weber State and, you played point guard and you understand the position and you understand how to get people involved, I don't know if it matters if you're at Weber State or Kentucky when it comes to understanding the position and what you need to do at the position. You know what I'm saying?
I dig what you're saying, yeah. But my point was when you play, it depends on your aptitude at the position and the level of competition that you play against to hone your craft, right? That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if Steph Curry would have played at Duke, would he really have played point guard at Duke? If Damian Lillard went to UCLA, would he really have played point guard at UCLA with the skill set that they have?
I mean,
hey Sam, I gotta get out of here, man. I hate
and I want to get to Savvy.
Take care, man.
I want to get Savvy.
You notice that you've never seen me and Savvy D in the same place. It's because we're the same person. What's good, Savvy D?
It's cracking, Freeze. Right. It's good to see you.
Hey, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Let him out.
And still, I don't think where you play at really, I understand about the level of competition, but everything is going to depend on who's on your team and what fits best, as to where your coach puts you, to tell you the truth. So I don't think just because you played at Weber State doesn't mean, he played at Weber State, he wouldn't have been a point guard if he played at Kentucky. He might have turned down Kentucky. Who knows? He could have been.
He would have been the point guard. Let's be honest. He would have been the point guard.
But anyway,
let's be real.
Go ahead, Savvy.
Wow, there was a lot to unpack there. First of all, I want to say shout out to the chat, shout out to the panel, MBK family. I'm always grateful to be with y'all. On the topic of our point guard situation, I feel like what Cornerstone Kev was saying earlier about people getting thrown under the bus. The only person I see really getting thrown under the bus consistently and not deserving it is Elfrid Payton, to be real with you. I feel like our Knicks fan community has an irrational bias towards looking negatively upon him. And And it's just awful because the guy D's up, the guy will score for us and force the issue on offense to get into the paint. The only thing he really can't do is create his own shot. And I feel like we need to just back up off of the anti-Paytonism for a minute. On the IQ topic, what you guys are saying is exactly why I love that moment that Derrick Rose had with him when he had him take the ball up the court and he was kind of coaching him on the floor as to like what he should be doing as a person who takes the ball up the court. And so I feel like as long as we keep guys around that could do some teaching from a standpoint of having a higher skill set, a higher skill level that the player wants, then we can develop what we need out of our young guys, even though they might not show a natural inclination toward the position, right? And it could be something as simple as court vision that keeps a player from being chosen as the point guard, like Tyrese Maxey was the point guard, and Emmanuel Quickley was off ball. But you might not know that the coach felt like at the time, it's like, wow, this guy needs very little in the way of coaching in order to facilitate players, whereas this guy might need a little bit more. However, this guy scores better, and then this guy needs to be taught how to be more effective on offense. That, to me, sounds like a perfectly good scenario as to why this guy could be a point guard in the NBA, but is not going to be the point guard that we go with right now at this moment for a Kentucky team that has a reputation for being good at basketball and needing to maintain some sort of a quality of performance in the season. So let's relax on these judgments of our young rookie players just right quick. Someone even said, actually, shout out to Julito in the chat. Okay, I wish he was on the panel. This man said Obi does nothing well. I was like, damn. I'm like, damn. Like nothing well. Like, come on, y'all. We gotta cut some more slack to our young dudes. And this is probably.
Hey, Savvy, listen. I'm not gonna say he doesn't do anything well. He jumps well, but I'm not impressed with Obi right now. I'm not. I'm down on Obi right now, man. I really am. I'm ready to give Kevin Knox his minutes.
I'll be real. I'm also ready for Knox to get some more minutes. But I feel like, who do we have there as the senior Obi to show him, like, yo, even though this is not the system that you're used to, this is how you could be effective.
Julius Randle.
Yeah,
Julius Randle.
I mean, they said they're working every day.
I feel as though Obi has time. He has plenty of time to get his game to where you guys will not be, be down.
So let me ask you this: does he have more time than Kevin Knox?
Yes. Yes.
Why? Why does he have more time than Kevin Knox?
Because this is his first year. We're going into.
So what? He's a full year older than Kevin Knox. He's like a year and a half older than Kevin Knox.
All right.
Why?
Kev.
Why?
Kev, hold on. Kev, pause for a second. Let me take that one. Sim, you always say this, and it drives me nuts. He was not in an NBA coaching environment for those years, so who cares if he's a year older? Because now he's in the league. He's got better basketball minds around him now.
He does, but at a certain point, your physical development stops. And right. You're not really going to pick up some of the things that, at a certain point, your physical development stops and the mental has to pick up. So if you have this footwork, hold on, but what I'm saying though, if you have a certain level of footwork, at some point you ain't getting it. That footwork that's it. And I think he's almost at that point.
You sound like you hating, man.
I'm not hating on him, man. I'm really not hating. I mean, maybe he still has another year to go. I don't know. But
The point that I'm trying to make is simple. Different people hit their renaissance era of learning and development at different stages in life than others.
I agree. Okay? I agree 100%.
So Kev Knox did well enough to enter the draft and then get drafted to an NBA team sooner than Obi did.
But this is the thing. Go ahead.
But Obi now, who knows what would have happened, all right? Imagine if Obi had entered the draft like a year earlier, right? When he wasn't confident about his performance, right? Let's say he goes undrafted, okay? Becomes a G Leaguer, gets pulled up from the G League. Who's to say that he would not be better off having done that than being drafted as a top 10 pick? Financially, of course not, right? The cachet is not the same, but as you enter different echelons of basketball savvy, you get an opportunity. You get an opportunity to learn some new stuff. I feel like the guy is not done learning yet. I remember when I was 23 years old. Oh my God, I'm not even gonna get into it. But the guy I am now is leagues ahead of that, and people would say that I was in my prime back then. But then you see people who peak in high school. I
agree, but I just think physically and mentally,
one season.
I just think physically and mentally are two different things. You know, he was supposed to come in already ready to play. Kevin Knox, we knew was a long-term project. He was supposed to come in and give you 12 and 8.
And this is the difference.
He has time.
But this is a difference. If you're older and you're a little further ahead in terms of development, then I don't think age is an issue. You got the 8th pick, take him, right? Because you expect that he's going to be a little bit ahead. Not that he still doesn't need to grow, but he's going to be a little bit ahead than somebody you take 18 years old, right? But if a 23-year-old comes in and they're at the same place as an 18-year-old, that's a problem in terms of development. That's a problem. And that's the only thing I'm saying. Not that Obi doesn't have things to learn and that we shouldn't be patient. Yes, I still expected him at his age, people saying he's NBA ready, to be a little bit ahead of where he is right now. And if that's the case, age is not an issue. But if you're coming in and you need just as much development as a Knox, when he came in, to me, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So, but then again, maybe over the summer he'll come in and we'll see that. You know, and we'll see that, and he'll develop quickly.
We also have to take into consideration. There was no summer camp. There was no
summer camp for Quickley either.
And he's playing behind Julius Randle.
But look,
and he was injured.
But listen, just like Savvy doesn't like it when I say, you know, the age difference between Knox and Obi. I don't like it when people talk about the summer camp, the summer league, because every rookie in the league, no rookie in the league went through a summer league. It's not like Obi didn't go. It's not. Hold up, Kev. It's not like. But listen, no. Can I finish what I'm saying?
Didn't have summer camp.
Can I go on that one?
Hold on. Can I finish what I'm saying? Can I finish what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Emmanuel Quickley. None of these guys went to a summer league. None of them. Yep. So they're all on the same playing field when it comes to that.
Okay, and what about the other guys? Kyra Lewis, the guy from Alabama, all these other guys. Some guys picked it up quicker. Some guys picked it up quicker.
All I'm saying is
I just be a little ahead based on his age and how many years he played. That's all I'm saying.
If you're not going to have a summer league, you would expect a guy like Obi, who's 22 years old, would be more ready than guys who are 19.
Okay,
because he's more developed physically.
College or 3 years.
It didn't happen.
Right.
So what do we do? It didn't happen.
Well,
so we're going to just
well, I mean, you give him time to try to see if he comes through. You know, Of course, obviously you do. You know what I'm saying? Because you got him under contract for the next 3 years or whatever it is. So, you know, but if something comes around, If something comes around.
So we're at this trade thing. We're at this trade.
Oh man, here we go.
But can I ask the panel a question?
I'm just saying, if something comes around,
if the Knicks,
so right now, the sense that I'm getting is that we're ready to give up on a player because we expected him to be up here, and he's.
But listen, I don't even think the Knicks would have drafted him if they knew he wasn't. They drafted him, I think, because they thought he was NBA ready and would be able to contribute right away. I wonder if the Knicks would have drafted him had they known he needed as much development as he does. It's just a question.
Well, and they did not expect that.
They obviously must have saw something when
they saw that he was ready to give him like 15 and 8.
Did they have workouts?
I think they did. I think they had some. They did have some workouts. But this is what I think. I believe, when it came to the whole thing with Obi's with CAA, right? Leon Rose knows his family. Leon Rose seen and knows what Obi can do. Leon Rose
his son is his agent. His son,
right? Leon Rose felt like this guy is NBA ready. He is a sure thing because he's 22 years old. I know he's going to come in and produce. He has cachet. Let's get Obi because I know everything about him. And I know at that point, I know he's going to come in and produce.
College player of the year.
So if we're going to say this, then that means that Walt Perrin, who we hired for our rookies, to pick out our rookies, that means that his word was probably oblivious because he probably said that he's not ready, and Leon Rose said that.
We don't know what they said. We just know that
it's a group. It's a group.
If we're going to say that, then Walt Perrin,
sure there was disagreement.
We don't know I don't know what Walt Perrin said. Who knows? I don't know. But Leon Rose has to make that final decision. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. With Obi. I expected a little bit more this year. And, if something came along and they said, hey, will you throw Obi in there? I'm not going to deny a trade that makes us better because of Obi. I'm just being honest with you.
Kev don't want to trade nobody.
I know.
I wanna make one more point on this topic. Didn't you tell me
your age? How much longer you have for the Knicks to develop? You had a birthday recently, right? I think you said you was a certain age. Come on. How much time?
Word up. Yeah, Kev. You got to think about that, Kev.
Stephanie, my birthday was back in October 28th.
Okay.
I remember that.
70.
Halloween, baby.
So I didn't want to put your age out there again, but I did hear it. Come on, how much time we got?
I shaved off the gray hairs and everything, so it's okay. What I'm going to do
Savvy and Josh got a little bit more time than we do.
Yeah, I don't have that much time.
The closest we came was back in 94. All right. Yeah. So from 94 till now, it's okay. I can wait more and more. I don't care. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to stop supporting my team. I'm not going to stop supporting my players as long as my players are putting out 110%.
Okay.
You know what else happened in 94?
Wait, hold on.
That's not good enough. Because you're not good enough, right? You put out 110%, but you're just not good enough.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, Savvy.
True that. It's a harsh reality. Hey, Kev, you know what else happened in 94? Yo.
Oh, stop.
So it's been. I never had a good Knicks era. That's why 2013 is my greatest year of my life. Like, I'm like, because I never got to see good Knicks before. Yeah. So I am a Knicks fan if there ever was one. One last time.
You were born in 94.
Hey, let me give a couple of shout outs here.
Illmatic came out in 94.
Illmatic. There you go. Illmatic came out in 94. Let me give a couple of shout outs here. Ishmael Reeves, thank you for the super chat. He said, we need to stop this notion that ISO Quick is a point guard. He doesn't make anyone around him better. And his defensive skills are mediocre at best.
Lies.
He is a Lou Williams 2.0. You know what? I mean, the jury is still out. We'll see. For me, the jury is still out. We'll see. He's his first year in the league.
How quickly we forget. No pun intended. This guy came in and completely unlocked Kevin Knox's confidence for us. Are you kidding me?
He did. Yeah.
He didn't make anybody better.
That's true. That's true.
Do you watch basketball or do you read it?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean,
Because
at this point, Kevin Knox
stats.
is feeling real confident holding down that chair, but.
Nah, because you just said you was ready for him to get some more.
I am ready for him. I'm ready for him to play over Obi. Yeah.
You were in rare form today. That's what I'll say. You are in rare form today.
Big shout out to Mr. Durant. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
He said guards in the guard league on bad teams. Talking about some of those other guards we were talking about. Will H. official. He said Obi got Kenyon Martin written all over him. He could end up being a Kenyon Martin. And that
Kenyon
won't be a
Martin
bad
had a nice
thing.
mid-range. Had a nice little 18-footer.
Yeah, that won't be a bad thing at all. And
he was fit when he was on the Nets.
Again, Mr. Durant or Durante, however you say your last name. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. He said Miss Stephanie wants to trade all the young guys. Forget training them. He said patience. We've been bad because of the way we treat our young players.
That's not the reason why we've been bad. They haven't been good.
Right.
We also drafted poorly. We
drafted poorly.
Yeah. It's been a ton of.
I like our young players. Hey, man, I really do. But everybody has a price.
Right. Exactly.
I'll tell you what. One thing that like ever since we got Leon Rose, I've had a whole new look at our Knicks culture as an organization.
Me too.
I've been happy with everything I saw.
Yep.
The one thing that gave me like a sinking feeling in my heart that we might not have fully changed our ways is that I felt like there was obvious picks for us to take that we really needed. Like, I don't know, maybe a 3 that can shoot the ball. But then we took Duncan's Delight son, and he's nice, and he's a New Yorker, and that's cool and everything. But the system was never meant for him to thrive in. You know what I'm saying? That's why it drives me nuts how whenever he gets on the court with the second unit, we're not running the entire offense through his needs, because when is that going to ever happen for a guy that plays 10 minutes or less behind Julius Randle?
Well, Savvy, to be fair, this is Thibodeau's first year. So we didn't even know. This wasn't the same coach we had from last year. This is a whole new thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we really didn't know that. At that point, the Knicks just needed talent. And Obi Toppin, to me, was the most talented player left on the board at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I like the 3-and-D wings, but,
I mean, listen, when Obi dropped to 8, I was all for it. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah. When he dropped to 8, I was like, we gotta go get him because we need talent. But
he would produce better than he's producing.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get Sim now because that's not true. He wanted Sadiq Bey. No, I'm just kidding.
I did want Sadiq Bey, but not at 8. I didn't want him at 8. I either wanted Tyrese Halliburton, or if Obi dropped, I wanted Obi.
I had Obi, Tyrese, and there was one other guy who lights cats up right now that plays in the Western Conference. I can't think of his name right now. That I wanted. But if it was me to pick, I would have chosen somebody that we could have gotten, right? And full disclosure, fairness, we didn't know that Julius Randle was going to be playing out of his mind this season. So
that too. That's another thing.
Just to be fair, I'll point that out. But I would have chosen, of those 3, the guy that can shoot better than the other guys. Because we so desperately needed that. Thank God Emmanuel Quickley worked out. Thank God for that.
Well, and
Worldwide
West was pushing for Emmanuel Quickley. I do want to say one thing that I seen in the chat about Obi that I agree with. I forgot who I seen it. Obi is just a nice guy. He's got to get a little bit more anger in his blood. He's just so nice. He got snubbed, with the slam dunk contest, and I'd have been like, I think I won it, but congratulations. But he didn't even say that. He was like, oh, he had good dunks. He's just a nice kid. And I like that. I like that he's a nice kid, but on the basketball court, you can't always be that nice, man.
He wasn't like Aaron Gordon. He wasn't like Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon was like, I'm not doing this anymore,
Yo, it's real funny. It's real funny how these internet fingers get. This guy Ismail Rivas. I don't know what the hell triggered this kid. You're a hater. Go play Fortnite, clown. You never seen the Knicks team go to the finals. Yeah, duh. I was born in '94. Never seen the Knicks team go to the finals. I said I never saw the great era of Knicks. A couple of years making the playoffs when we had Carmelo is not a great era to me. It's the best I have as a Knicks fan. But it's not tantamount to the same thing. I don't like when these clowns act like we're a better team than we are. Like, we were bad for a long time.
Yeah.
And then we got Carmelo.
Savvy, how old were you in '99?
He was 5. He was 5. He didn't know anything about what was going on when he was 5 years old.
I was 5 years old.
I was 7.
Yeah,
Ismail can go jump off a bridge.
Y'all youngins, man. My God.
Anyway, I am going to head out so we can let you guys go ahead and get ready to watch the game. Remember, it's at 2 p.m. on NBA TV. Shout out to Mr. Durante. He said, true story. Poor drafts, poor management.
Backhander, little boy.
And also like to shout out Rob the Nick for becoming a member or a member upgrade, and BX Jedi 76 for becoming a member as well. Appreciate you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the game. We'll be back I'll be back doing the post game about 4:45.
Okay.
All right. So enjoy the game, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back. Hopefully we can get this win. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, guys.
Go. Yeah, let me get out of here and get something. I haven't even eaten yet, Savvy. Yeah.